Alright, so let's go ahead and get started on the second part of graphing inequalities. So what we're going to be looking at here is, let's go back to our note sheet here. So we're at lesson 3.3b, solving systems of inequalities by graphing. What I'd like you guys to do is go ahead and graph both of these equations, but just like with when we were graphing systems of equations, you're going to graph both of these on the same grid, on the same coordinate plane. So we have negative y is equal to negative 2x plus 2, and y is equal to 1/2 x minus 3. Okay, so when we do that as a system, we end up with something that will look like this. So we have the blue line and the green line. That's just the two lines. Now we're going to convert both of these lines into inequalities. So we have y is less than negative 2x plus 2, and we're going to have this is less than or equal to, and then we're going to have y greater than or equal to 1/2 x minus 3. So let's go ahead and apply those inequalities. So we will have less than or equal to, less than or equal to, there we go, and this one is greater than or equal to. Okay, so we have our solid lines because they're both greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. They have the equal to part of it, and then we have less than for the blue section. So that, let me turn off this one here really quick. So for the blue one, this is y values, or I'm sorry, this is all values less than or equal to negative 2x plus 2, so that's everything below the line. And then for the other one, we have y values greater than or equal to 1/2 x minus 3, so that's everything above the line. When we graph and shade them together, we end up with a graph that looks like this. Okay, now I'm going to scoot this up just a tiny bit. What we are interested in when we're doing systems of inequalities is we're interested in the overlap. So what region, when we shade this, is going to be shared by both inequalities. I'm going to change the color of this one just a little bit so it stands out a little bit easier. Maybe. Let's see if I can. It's not letting me change the color. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I can get the color to change here. It's fighting me for some reason. There we go. Alright, there we go. That stands out a bit better. So we've got the red region here for greater than or equal to 1/2 x minus 3, and the blue region for negative 2x plus 2. And then the purple region, this light purple region that we have over here, is the overlap of those two inequalities. So what we're looking for when we check an answer for this one is we're looking for a solution, or I'm sorry, we're looking for all the values that satisfy both equations. So the one that we have on here is the origin 0, 0. So if I plug 0, 0 in here, 0, 0 does exist within the region. Okay, it exists within the purple region, and I can pick any value in this overlapped region. Let's check to make sure we did it correctly. So we're going to take this point 0, 0, and we're going to plug it into both lines. So if I plug it in here, negative 2 times 0 is just 0. Okay, and then we change y to 0, so that's going to give me 0 is less than or equal to 2. So you guys can write that down. It's going to be 0 is less than or equal to 2. If you look at that, you'll see that that is a true statement. That one's good. Do the same thing over here. 1/2 times 0 is just 0. So we end up with 0 is greater than or equal to negative 3. 0 is greater than negative 3 on the number line. So the point 0, 0 that's in our shared shaded region here does satisfy both inequalities and therefore is a solution to our system of inequalities. All right, I would like you guys to try this on these next couple of ones here. I'm only going to I want to keep this video a little bit short because the videos are running a little bit longer than I want them to. Why don't you guys go ahead and try this one here? Remember, use the same process as we did in the previous one. You're going to graph both lines, then shade appropriately, and then I want you guys to test one point in the solution. So you're going to pick one point in the area where the two shaded regions overlap, and test it in both inequalities and see if it works out. Okay. Once you've completed that one, move on to the next one. Do the same thing here. This one's got fractions in it. Fractions are not something to be scared of. When you guys are picking x values, pick x values that are even, because even values will just be cut in half by 1/2. It just simplifies much easier. So pick x values that are even when you guys are doing this one, when you guys are picking test points. Okay. If you guys have questions on either of these examples, bring them up in class. We'll talk about them there. You guys will have a quiz next Tuesday, and we're going to concentrate heavily on systems of equations. So what I would like to do for the remainder of this week is we're going to do a bunch of review. I want to make sure you guys can do this. I want to make sure you guys can graph lines. Okay, and I want to make sure you guys can solve systems of equations using our 3 methods. So we have graphing, we have substitution, and we have elimination, and we also do graphing of linear inequalities on that quiz. So we'll have a nice full quiz for the next one. Still looking, keep it kind of short. We'll shoot for like 4 or 5 questions on there, like one of each of these, and we'll see how you guys are doing. All right, I will see you guys in class. If you have any questions, just write them down and bring them to me. I'll ask for questions at the beginning of the class.